Hey, Teddy K here for the Best Buy blog, and in this video we are looking at the Google Pixel Buds 2a, available at Best Buy now. These are Google's latest so-called budget earbuds. It's been a while since Google made a pair of budget wireless earbuds, and that's what the Pixel Buds 2a are supposed to be. They're supposed to be the budget alternative to the Pixel Buds Pro 2. They bear a lot of similarities physically, so when you look at both pairs, you'll see that Google kind of went with the same design philosophy in this case. And what's particularly interesting is that because they're smaller, so the design for these are smaller, if you have smaller ears, you might find that these might fit a little better for you. To make that point, actually, Google includes an extra small pair of ear tips. So no extra large, but definitely an extra small. So you have 4 sizes in total, and chances are you might find one that fits you a little bit better. I'll just start out by saying that there's nothing really extraordinary going on here. So the sound quality, the noise cancellation, even some of the features and some of the customizations, they're not that unique compared to what other pairs can give you. So what you're getting here is more of something that's integrated in the Google ecosystem, certainly something that is integrated with Google Gemini. So you have some of that AI factor, which I'll get into. But really, by and large, they're just earbuds that kind of do what they're supposed to do. So I know that that might be good enough, but I'm going to outline some of the things that I think stand out. First and foremost, I think when you set these up, it's easy to set them up. Google Fast Pair. So if you're going to use these with an Android phone, it doesn't matter if it's a Pixel device, by the way. The only thing I think that really matters with Pixel phones is that if you want spatial audio, that has to work with a Pixel phone, but only Pixel Pro phones, or at least the Pixel phones that are not the A series, if that makes sense. So when you're set up, you then go through the ear fit tip test. So the ear tip fit test, I should say. So I recommend you do this. This is something that I'm glad Google includes in the startup process because it's the best way to ensure that you're getting the size and the fit that you're looking for. So for example, you might run into a situation where you need to wear a different size tip on one ear compared to the other. It's rare, but it can happen. Once you're set up with that, at that point, you can kind of customize what you need to. And I do recommend that you're going to need to probably customize the sound here. The reason I say that is because the sound is interesting. It's tuned in a way that I don't know that I've really heard before in a pair of earbuds, and that's not a great thing. It's weird. It's also genre specific. So if you're listening to hip hop or R&B or house music, for example, where bass is going to be more prevalent, you'll find that the sibilants or those high pitches don't quite hit the same way compared to if you're listening to rock or pop or jazz. It's odd. It's just, I don't know why it happens. It's just a unique tuning situation here that Google has put out. I don't know why. You can adjust this. So you can go into the sound section in the Pixel Buds app. If you're on a Pixel phone, by the way, that's just in the settings. It's not a 5-band EQ. So this isn't, if you're familiar with how an EQ works and how you adjust that, this is not quite the same. In this case, you're adjusting basics like upper treble or mids, bass, lower bass, that kind of thing. And you adjust the sliders based on what you think. There are some presets that you can choose as well, and you can make adjustments based on those. So if you want to use one of those as a bass and then adjust from there, you can. Whatever path you think is best, I just do it your way is what I would say, because I find it hard to believe that you'll love the sound out of the box. Again, I know everybody's different, it's subjective, but I just don't see it. I feel like some kind of customization will be necessary here to get the kind of sound that you want. And fortunately, you can get there. So it's, again, not as granular perhaps as an EQ is on another pair of earbuds, but at least there is a recourse you can take. Another thing too is that I would recommend you turn on multi-point. This is off by default, so multi-point allows you to stay connected to 2 devices at the same time, and then you can switch between them very easily. That also refers to audio switch. So audio switch would be where you can essentially just listen to, maybe you're watching a show on a tablet, a phone call comes in, and it just switches over to your phone, and that way you have the audio there. Touch controls are pretty basic. You can't really change them. So one tap, just tap, you just play and pause. double tap to skip a track, triple tap to repeat a track. You can adjust the tap and hold. So on one side, for example, in my case, I have it so that if I do it on one side, I can access Gemini, and then on the other, I can cycle through active noise cancellation and transparency. Very cool. You know, they work okay. They're fine. There are no volume controls like the Pixel Buds Pro have, but I found I didn't necessarily need them, those features all that much, at least I thought as much as I thought I would. For noise cancellation, this is an interesting situation too, and one that I have not always encountered with other earbuds, and I'll explain. So low frequency sound, so you're on a plane, you're on a bus, a train, with those low kind of droning sounds, it'll do a pretty good job of actually drowning those out and muffling them significantly. I wore these on multiple flights and they actually held up quite well. What's weird though is that voices somehow pierce through. It's weird. It's like, so it drowns out the low frequency sound, but then for some reason a voice can somehow come through. And it could be someone sitting beside me, or it could be someone 2 seats over. I still hear it. Why this happens, I'm not sure, because there are cases too where I'm in a quiet room and then I can't really hear the voice. If I'm to guess what's happening here, just based on my experience with these types of products, the two mics, there are 2 mics on each earbud, and they're acting to counter the noise that's coming in. If there is noise that it's countering, so if there's low frequency sounds that it's countering, it then probably works hard to drown that out, but has trouble with high frequency sounds. This is not uncommon with earbuds, but it's just weird that voices pierce through. Like, it's one thing for a siren to pierce through, but it's another thing when a voice does. And it's again, at a regular volume. My guess is that there is too much work being done to drown out the low frequency sounds, and it allows the others to break through. Whereas in a quiet room, when it's not doing that, it's not really countering anything because there's no noise to counter. It then can work better at countering the voices. Now for the Gemini integration, this is an interesting case. Again, this is not new in the sense that Google Assistant always was baked into previous Pixel Buds. So it works a lot in the same way. So you can access it either by tap and holding on one side or by saying, "Hey Google." So when you do, like, there it is. Yeah, see, it popped up right there. So when you do, at that point, you have access to Gemini, not Google Assistant. So in this case, not only do you have just a typical voice assistant that you can access, but you can also use it and talk to it as an AI. What you can't do purely hands-free is ask it what's on your screen. So for example, if you are looking at photos and then you just decide, okay, I want to know what's on my screen here, you still have to do that manually on the phone. So while you can raise Gemini by voice, if you ask it what's on the screen, it's not going to be able to tell you. So you have to do that manually. Last thing is battery life. So Google rates these at about 7 hours with active noise cancellation on. That's mostly accurate based on the default volume. Chances are though, I think you're going to probably have to raise the volume simply because the way the fit is, while the passive isolation's okay, you may not get the proper fit the first time every time, if that makes sense. You may need to adjust them over time because they just twist a little bit. Either way, battery life will mostly hold up based on what Google says. So even if you leave noise cancellation off, it's about 10 hours. That's mostly true. But again, volume levels are going to affect that. So you're probably looking at, with ANC on and a higher volume, probably looking at about 5 hours plus. So not bad, not the best, but okay. The case does not do wireless charging. So unfortunately, if when the time comes and you need to recharge the case, you will need to plug it in order to recharge it. So one of those things that unfortunately, one of the conveniences is that it's not there. And the battery inside the case is actually replaceable. Now, it's not a swappable battery. It's not one of those things that you just like take out and then put a new one in. It will require tools to do the job. But the fact that it's even possible to replace the battery is unique. And that's my review of the Google Pixel Buds 2a, available at Best Buy now. You can check out more about it by just clicking that link below. For the Best Buy blog, I'm Teddy K. Thanks for watching.